Hey everybody, I'm Madeline Sklar, host of the Social ROI Chat. We had such an amazing one today. I'm here with our special guest. Please welcome Amanda Robinson. Hey Amanda.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much, Madeline, for hosting me on the Twitter chat today.
Absolutely. Man, that was a fast 1 hour chat. I mean, that just goes at lightning speed, doesn't it?
It's for a non-Twitter chatter. I'm not in there frequently enough. It was a little hard to keep up with, but it was good conversation. So there's so many pieces that I want to go back to and respond to because there were so many good nuggets of information and lots of really engaged people in there. So it was a really good experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, gosh, super engaging. There was just so much great stuff going on with that chat and a lot of little side conversations, people talking
Yeah.
about some of these questions and asking you some other questions, to keep, this conversation super full. Um, the topic today is tips for running successful Facebook ad campaigns. And, I feel like we can always learn more about Facebook ad campaigns because there's so much to it. It's not as, I mean, sure, we can hit the boost button, but, doing a real campaign is really the way to go. Don't you
Yeah.
agree?
I do. Now, I don't want to discourage people away from using the boost button at all. I mean, the boost button is
Yeah.
kind of what I like to call the gateway drug. So it's like the Facebook advertising training wheels, and that was one of the things that came up in the Twitter chat today, is
Oh,
that if it gets you started, amazing, and it gets you sort of warmed up to how the platform works and what options you have available to choose from as far as your targeting, your audience and how long you want to run for, what budget you want to use. So it just kind of like warms you up. So if the boost button is your speed, stay with it. That's fine. I'd rather see you there than not. I'd rather see you doing some paid advertising than not. But if all you've been doing is the boost button, and if you're starting to spend, if you're spending, I'd say, more than $20 to $50 per boost, and if you're spending, I'd say, more than $250 in a month, move yourself over into Ads Manager and start using Facebook's Ads Manager platform to start diversifying your ads, diversifying your audiences, testing, experimenting, and actually taking all that money that you're spending and starting to optimize it and make it make more money for you. Instead of, someone else in the Twitter chat today said, they made reference to using the boost button as kind of like throwing money away. It's better to
yeah.
use it than not. But if that's all you've been using, then you're wasting a little bit of dollars at the edges there, and it's time to tighten everything up, get yourself into Ads Manager, start experimenting, and start doing some Facebook ad campaigns, start to finish with your
Yes.
campaigns, with your ad sets, with your ads, all the different components of it.
I love it. Now, before we dive further in, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you do, and your experience with Facebook advertising?
So I am definitely a Facebook advertising geek. So again, I'm Amanda Robinson, and I run socialsavvysociety.com, which is helping make business life easier for the less digitally savvy. The majority of my Facebook ads experience, I've been running Facebook ads since longer than I'd like to admit. The majority of my experience has been in the real estate industry, so running lots and lots and lots of ads and ad dollars through real estate teams and real estate ads, as well as for a whole roster of different clientele, from business coaches to small business to local business to national brands. So I've had tons of experience in the platform, and I'm a complete junkie when it comes to keeping up on all of the breaking news when it comes to Facebook and Facebook ads. So that's where my little flair and my experience comes in, is that I'm not really the type that takes somebody's budget and just follows a prescribed path. What I end up doing is I usually end up carving a little bit off the side and use that for testing. And I'm always testing new features. I'm always testing new opportunities. I'm always testing, kind of taking the entirety of my Facebook ads knowledge and wrapping it into that knowledge base and that intuition to say, I bet you if I tried putting ad dollars over here, I bet we're going to get more results. And that's just how over time I've incrementally been able to gain more and more results for clients, and to be able to train myself as well within the ads platform on testing the limits and understanding what works and what doesn't work. And if you're not trying, you don't know. So if you're not spending any marketing dollars in areas that don't work, I've done it for you. So that's where I feel like I've really grown as a marketer and being able to sit back and actually give advice on the pros, the cons, the do's, the don'ts, and always be testing and experimenting. So that's a little bit about my ads experience.
I love that you say like experimenting, because I think that's so incredibly important, because if you don't try things, you don't know if it's going to work or not.
It's true. It's so true. I mean, you can follow a recommended path, like I said, but it's different for every single individual page. It's different for every single business account. Your audience is going to be vastly different than somebody else's audience, and everybody responds differently, and people respond differently to different content. So leveraging the platform when we're talking about testing, that's why, moving you away from the boost button. Boost button doesn't allow you to test anything. Boost button lets you just slap some dollars down and say, okay, bet my 20 and see where it's going to go, right? But starting to leverage the Ads Manager platform and starting to do some more focused Facebook ad campaigns, that's where you really start to feel the magic of being able to test and try out some different things and compare them apples to apples against each other, see where those results are coming from, and starting to shut down the ads or the campaigns that aren't producing as high of results. So it just starts incrementally. When you start testing, you'll just notice little small incremental wins or increases in campaigns. Start putting more dollars in those, start putting more focus in those, start looking and analyzing the results to say, what did I do in this one that caused higher results compared to the other campaign that I ran, or the other campaign I'm running simultaneously, or the other ads I'm running simultaneously. If you're not experimenting with that type of testing, then all you're doing is blindly betting your money on what Facebook thinks is going to work best. And that's not always the right case for your business.
I love that. That is so smart. Really great advice. Thanks for sharing that. Let's start with question number one. Just kind of starting with the basics. How do you set up a Facebook ad campaign?
So a Facebook ad campaign is broken into three parts. So you have your campaign, your ad set, and then your ads. So at your campaign level, that's where you're going to choose your objective. And this is as simple as it might sound. Do you want to go for traffic to your website? Do you want to go for conversions? Do you want to go for reach? What is the objective that you want to achieve? That one crucial step seems to be the part that costs people a lot of money. So by choosing the wrong objective, I see one of the things I see people do all the time is go after, say, a conversion objective, because they want people to convert. They want people to fill out that form on their website, or they want people to make that purchase on their website. But by going straight for the wrong objective at the campaign level, it can cost you more money down the road. Then we move into the ad set level, and that's where you get to choose your budget and your targeting. And that's where I don't want you to be stingy. I want you to spend the money. I want you to work on more than one audience. I want you to try many things. This is your experimental ground. This is where the fun happens. And then you move on to the third part, the ad level. And the ads, you can have several different ads, several different ad types, all living within an ad set, all living within a campaign. So you can have, imagine like a tree structure. You have your campaign at the top. Under that campaign, you can have different ad sets where your targeting and budgeting is happening. And underneath there, you have all of your different ads that are filtering back up into that whole tree structure. So campaign, ad sets, ads. That's what a Facebook ad campaign is composed of. Now, when you click that boost button, it does it all automatically for you. So when you click that boost button, you still have that ad available within Ads Manager. You can go into Ads Manager, you can look at all of the reporting, you will still see it broken down in that structure. You'll still see the campaign tab, the ad sets tab, and the ads tab all broken out when you click that boost button. And that's, again, when I say training wheels, it is a really good, that's a good transition point for you. If you've been using the boost button, start going into your Ads Manager and peeking at the results of all of those boosts and looking at those results through the Ads Manager, not just through your Facebook page insights. And that's where you're going to start to see, oh, that's how it works. That's how it's laid out. So you can start to connect the dots on what you've been doing, what results it's been getting you, now what it looks like in Ads Manager, and now you're ready to start moving into more well-rounded, more well-bodied Facebook ad campaigns.
I love this. This is such great information. It's awesome. And Lucille's here with us live, and she is asking, how do you decide what the right objective is?
It's spend a lot of money. To decide what the right Facebook objective is, use the helpful prompts that go along when you're looking in the campaign level. You'll see a whole bunch of different columns, a whole bunch of different ad objectives. Go and hover over each of them and see what the description is. And the description is pretty literal. Like if you want to get traffic to your website, you're going to use traffic. If you want to reach more sets of people, you're going to use reach. If you want to get conversions, people to actually purchase on conversions on your website, that's if you have your Facebook tracking pixel set up and all of it configured. Then you'll bid on conversions. So choosing the right campaign objective is really, really going to come down to what type of results do you want and what are you actually set up to receive and achieve. For example, just using the real estate for the real estate as an example, a lot of realtors want leads. They want lead ads. They just want to spend a whole lot of money on lead ads to get people's email address and phone number so they can pick up the phone and sell to them. Or they just want to go straight to the sale. But those lead ads are so expensive. They are so expensive and they're so much better served to a warm or hot audience. So I would never take a lead ad and serve it to a cold audience. Now, how do I know that? I know it from testing. I know it from spending the money. So it really does take spending the money within your own budget, testing your own ads with your own audiences to really understand what works for you and what doesn't. But as a quick tip, bidding for video views, as an example, that's going to be a much lower cost objective that you can then remarket and retarget off of. So I find that audience seems to be a bigger bang for your buck. Sorry, that objective is a bigger bang for your buck because the dollars you're spending to get people to view your videos, you can then go and create video view audiences of people to remarket to off of that. So you're basically earning a warm audience out of spending those marketing dollars. So it's a win-win. And if your video views are running you more than, I say, 2 cents a view, 1 to 2 cents a view, depending on what industry you're in, might be time to reevaluate the ad creative. So sorry, there's a ton of information based on the question of what objective do you go with?
She says it's good advice, so that's awesome. And I see that we got a whole bunch of cool people here live. I just want to acknowledge, Lucille, who is on the chat live with us, and we also got Dee and Bella is here, who was our guest last week, which is so awesome. So hello to all you awesome people here with us. And Alex just got here. Hey, Alex. Dee is asking, how much do you need to spend to see results? That's a great question.
It is a great question. And it is really directly relative to what you're bidding on and what you're trying to achieve. So for example, if you were trying to go after those really pricey lead ads that we were talking about, you might see lead ads run you anywhere from $2 a lead up to $10 to $20 a lead. So say you had an ad running and it was basically getting $10 a lead and you only had $100, you're only going to get 10 leads out of that. So you can scale it and spend that budget depending on what your expected results are, but you won't know what your expected results are until you take some ad budget, start spending it in your account, get yourself a baseline, get a baseline of results to know that, okay, if I take this money, I put it on this ad and I send it to that audience, what results am I starting with? Then you have something to measure from when you try it again and optimize again and continue to optimize from there. You need to learn how your particular audiences and your ad account responds. So as a baseline, it's when it comes to how much to spend, it really honestly depends on your business. If you're a charity, say you're a local theater group and you have a play coming up, you could take $20 and put $20 on a promotional post for the upcoming play, and you could have sold out shows. Those posts might have better organic reach. They might have more what I like to call momentum in the newsfeed. Anything with more organic momentum is going to cost you less money in the long run. So if you have something that isn't really pulling its weight in the newsfeed, if it's not already getting any organic activity or has potential to get organic activity, and you just keep throwing ad dollars out behind it, it's going to cost you a lot more money. So taking that a step back, how much money do you need to spend? Well, when I start working with real estate teams, for example, I want them to at least have anywhere from $500 to $1,500 a month set aside for their Facebook ads budget. If you're a small community organization, maybe it's $250 a month, depending on what you can work with. So you really can. The smaller the budget, the more creative you have to be with your ads, and the more sensitive you have to be about your targeting. If you have a larger budget, you have more bandwidth and more flexibility to really start experimenting, push the boundaries, find out what your baseline is, and then optimize from there. So it's a much more effective way in the long run to get those results. So you spend a little more money up front doing the testing and experimenting, but down the road, everything becomes so much more efficient. If you have a very limited budget, then you really need to just take the time to invest into that targeting and invest into getting out of the boost button, getting into Ads Manager, choosing the right objective, and experimenting from there. So when it comes to how much do you need to spend, it's all over the map depending on your industry. And you know what, that leads me to a good point on recommending, if you are going to engage the services of an Ads Manager or a marketing organization to help you, finding one that has experience in your niche. I say niche. There we go. Finding one that has experience in your industry will make all the difference in the world. If they already have a track record of working with your industry, they already have sort of the benchmarks and the understanding of what audiences respond, how much money needs to be spent, and can better advise you without wasting your own marketing dollars with that whole testing phase of understanding what your baseline is.
Wow, that's just great information. This is great. And we're getting lots of questions here and just more amazing people. Justin Brown just got here. He's been a past guest, one of our YouTube experts. I have a question though. So I've heard that Dennis Yu teaches $1 a day Facebook advertising. Like, can you get much out of $1 a day? I imagine the consistency is what works, right?
Absolutely. Everything is scalable as well. So consistency is definitely key. The more consistent you are with your ads, the more your ads have the opportunity to learn based on what results they're getting. Let me throw out just a quick example as I'm thinking about it. When I'm saying Facebook is learning based on what you're doing, I'll give you an example of, I had a client that I was working with where they had a lookalike audience they were using. They were spending dollars on it and sort of letting it run. And it was performing. It was getting some results, but those results, those signups weren't actually turning into dollars spent at the end of the day. And they were wondering why. And it turns out that Facebook's algorithm was starting to deliver those ads to the areas that were getting more and more results on what they were going after. So more and more signups. But all those signups happened to be happening in a country that they weren't even trying to target. And that country, they weren't getting sales out of that country. So Facebook's algorithm was picking up that, we're getting results over here. We're just going to keep offloading more and more and more impressions over here. And it just went haywire. It ran rampant. And that is one of the situations where the ad dollars you're spending and the targeting, your targeting really means everything to make your marketing dollars more efficient. So when it comes down to spending $1 a day, with Dennis Yu's example, it can be done really well. If you're targeting the right people and you're spending $1 a day, you can get results and you can get consistent results. So it really comes down to understanding what you're trying to achieve and understanding who your audience is.
Gotcha. And we're getting a bunch of questions here, so I'm going to try to see if we can tackle them all. Do you believe, this is from Alex, do you believe it's best on a budget to do a higher spend for a short time? This is a great question. Or do a lower spend for a longer time? This kind of continuing what we're talking about here, where I'm saying, $1 a day consistently, because I think he teaches this like that you just keep doing $1 a day ongoing. That's what I don't have all the details. It's just from what I heard. But what do you think of this?
Again, it's also going to depend on your objective. So if you're going for reach and you just need to offload a whole bunch of ad inventory super quick in a big, spectacular bang, right? And that's kind of a tactic that I will use with real estate when you have a hot commodity that's just coming on the market and you really got to get the word out and spread that out and get some momentum going behind that. I'm going to take a budget and I'm going to compact it and jam it into a short period of time with a high spend, and I'm going to fuel that fire. Now, if you are a service provider and say you're selling a course, or you have a webinar, an evergreen webinar that you have signups for, you don't want to have this accordion of spend going on in your account. You want to give Facebook the opportunity to learn and to be able to optimize on those results that you're getting. So it could take you anywhere from 48 hours to a week or more for that campaign to really optimize, to deliver to the right people and start getting you the right results. Now, if you're, say, for example, you're going after the the conversion objective. If you're going after a conversion objective, I don't recommend going after a tight spend jam-packed into a short period of time. I don't recommend blowing out a whole amount of your budget. If you're going after a conversion objective, that requires the Facebook pixel, and Facebook, again, reading those results, understanding where that success is coming from, and optimizing. There's a lot of optimizing that Facebook does in the background to help make those ads and your ad dollars more efficient for you. But it needs time to learn, and it needs time to kind of like find its footing. Right? So you have to set it up, and you have to let it run for a while and not touch it. I know that's the hardest part. It's like, just leave it. Just don't touch it. Set it up, leave it. But depending on what you're trying to do, sometimes it is better to heavy load that huge amount of spend into one big burst and really, really jack up that momentum that you can get with a post. So, and I know a lot of these answers are going to be, it really depends on the business. It depends on your objective. It depends on what you're trying to achieve, and it depends on the results. So if you tried one big bang spend and it didn't get you the results, and then you try one slow trickle spend and it's getting you better results, then, it's worth testing. And I like testing them simultaneously, side by side, same ad, same audience, and just play with those objectives, or play with those, play with your objectives, but play with the amount of time that you're spending on. And you can also play with your bid strategy as well. So you can have accelerated delivery, for example, where when we're talking about making that big bang, if you're spending a ton of money and you need to offload a whole ton of impressions super quick so you can sell enough tickets for that local theater show, you want to reach as many people as quickly as you can with an accelerated delivery. You don't want Facebook to space out that delivery evenly over time. You just want to get as many eyeballs on that as quickly as possible, sell as many tickets as you can. But if you're a coach and you have a consulting business and you're selling your course, then the conversion objective and sort of the longer term play might be more efficient for your marketing dollars down the road.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Okay, so how often do you recommend we be checking our insights to see these results? Should we because at one point you said, like, just don't touch it, don't do it. So should we stay away from the insights for a few days when we're first doing a campaign, or should we be looking at it every hour?
Look at it as much as you can stand. The more you get in there, the more you look at the results, the more you get familiar with how the results perform for you. Like I can set up an ad with clients and industries that I'm really familiar with. I can set up an ad, and within the first 24 hours, I kind of have an idea of if it is performing as expected or if it's going to be a flop. Sometimes I'm wrong, but we're just talking generally overall. I have an idea. How do I know? Because I'm an ads manager junkie. I am in there looking at the results constantly, and I'm looking at the results and comparing them against all the other campaigns that I've run, and adding up all the other experience that I have from running ads. So you learn you develop a sensitivity to it. And if you're just not looking at it, then you don't develop that sensitivity. You don't know what you're looking for. You don't know how to compare, and it becomes overwhelming. The more you look in there, the more familiar it gets, the easier it is to read the information, and the less overwhelming it is. So the more you're able to actually extract some insights from it and be able to get yourself you'll be able to optimize your ads a little bit better, or learn what you could be doing better next time. Now, just along those lines, when it comes to measuring, yes, you have your Facebook insights. And if you are boosting, you're going to see a lot of those results in your insights. If you are using Ads Manager, you're probably better off going into the Ads Manager to look at all of your results. Actually, I don't even care if you're boosting. Use Ads Manager for reading your results. Don't just rely on the Facebook insights that you can get right from your Facebook page. Actually go and click into Ads Manager, go and look for the campaign, and just dig through, like take a look at it, dig through your campaign results, look at your ad set results, look at your ads results, go and look at your relevance score. I know that the relevance score is very controversial. A lot of ads managers will say the relevance score means nothing. And for the most part, they're probably right. If you're still getting results, you could have a low relevance score. And what the relevance score is a score out of 1 to 10, ranking your ad on how well, I guess you could say like how well it's being received by your audience. A low relevance score is probably an indicator that you have the wrong content for the wrong people, the wrong content for the right people, the right content for the wrong people, or any combination of those. If you have the right content for the right people, then you're going to have a higher relevance score. So it's kind of like a little weather vane. It's an indicator to let you know how your ads are performing. But you wouldn't know that if you're just looking at your insights right from your Facebook page. You actually have to go into Ads Manager and do that digging, dig down to the ad set level, or sorry, the ads level, and go and look for it. So it's a little tidbit there.
That's awesome. Sandy had a question earlier. She says, if you don't feel comfortable tackling the Facebook ads, how can you vet someone who claims they're an expert?
None of us are experts. None of us are experts. I'd say to be able to vet them, get references, ask if they have clients that they work with that would vouch for them. Generally, if you have an ads manager who has gotten results for a client, their clients are just raving about you. And that's how most ads managers get their work, is they just have a flood of referrals. So if you have somebody who's out of work, doesn't have any work, and is desperate for work, might be an indicator that they may not know what they're doing. Might be. Just take it easy there. I mean, lots of people have life circumstances, but for the most part, if you have somebody, an ads manager who's performing really well, word of mouth spreads like wildfire, and they have work coming at them that they can't slow down, because it is a skill. I mean, once you graduate past that boost button, once you graduate past the basics of doing pretty standard campaigns, you start digging into using pixels and digging into those conversions and digging into optimizing and really, really analyzing the data. That's where it becomes a little more specialized. And yeah, but with all that said, give people a shot, because if you have a geek like me, I mean, that's where it starts. If you have the passion for digging for the information, for geeking out in Facebook Ads Manager, then it doesn't matter. Give them a shot, because that's where they're going to flourish. Give them the budget, and don't yank budget away. Don't give a little bit of budget, see how they're doing, and then pull it all away. It just takes time to optimize. So you have to have a lot of trust within each other, and you're just going to have to trust that the dollars that you're spending, it's an investment. It's an investment in your business, an investment in that ads manager. And that's why it's important to kind of do your research, ask questions, ask for references, look at the clients they've worked with in the past, and go with your gut.
Awesome. Do you do this? Do you take on clients running their campaigns, and do you do coaching, consulting? Like what all do you provide?
Yeah, so I do both. So I do take on a small number of clients where I'm actually hands-on, deep into their accounts, helping restructure everything, helping them optimize their ad campaigns, helping them get their ad spend moving in the right direction. And then I also do one-off coaching and consulting calls where jump on a call with me face-to-face, 1 hour. We do a screen share. We dig into your account together. I can walk you through start to finish all of my recommendations, or even just simply doing an ad account audit for you, where I go in, I look at all the results, I walk you through how I'm finding all of the results so that you can see it with your own eyes. And a lot of those, I love, like those are my favorite, to be honest, the ad account audits where we dive in together, because it's like an investigation game, like going in and hunting down where all of the rogue, issues are within the account. And usually we find and identify lots of little issues that can be very easily and quickly fixed, whether it's targeting that's gone wild, whether it's ad spend that's not really optimized the best. So that's a lot of fun. That's where, again, I geek out on this stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome. I'm going to post your links here. So if anybody wants to get in touch with you, this has been amazing, Amanda. You've shared so much great information with us today, both on the Twitter chat and here on the after chat. So I got your website here, and I'll also post your Twitter account. Is there anywhere else you can send people, or is that pretty much it?
That's the website's the best spot to start, and then you can Facebook as well, Facebook Social Savvy Society, and reach out to me there.
And there's your Twitter. I loved how you changed it to the digital gal.
Yeah.
When I saw it was so funny. I'll tell the story real quick. So we had all of the promo images ready for the Social ROI chat, and then I saw that you changed your Twitter handle.
So sorry.
No. Your Twitter handle is so good, and it only affected two of the images.
Thank you.
And so I asked our graphic designer. I said, "Can you go back and redo these? I'm so sorry that you just changed the handle." I mean, your other one was cool, but this one really is fitting. I love it so much.
Thank you.
So,
yeah, my old one was
digital gal.
My old one was she wakeboards, and I used to run a water ski and wakeboard school when I was younger, and I used to be into competing at wakeboarding, and wakeboarding was like life. Wakeboarding was my life.
Yeah.
And I've had a really, really, really hard time parting with that branding because it's such a part of me, but it's such a part of it's just such a part of what I like. It's a hobby. It's nice, but it's not really who I am. And when you really break it down,
today,
who am I? I really am a complete digital gal.
Totally. I love it because when I first met you and I saw your Twitter handle, I'm like, I didn't get it. I'm like, what does that mean? It's like, okay, she likes wakeboarding, I guess. But this is very fitting with where you're at today. So This is so great. I'm so glad you were our guest today. You like went above and beyond sharing all this great information. So for those of you watching, if you have any questions, get in touch with Amanda. If you need help with your Facebook ads campaigns, I think you could tell from this conversation that she's your gal. So
I might know a thing or two.
Just a thing or two. Thank you so much, Amanda. This has been so awesome. Thank you to everybody who's been watching today. If you enjoyed this, share this, hit the share button and share this out. We'd really appreciate it. We'll be back next week with another awesome chat. So until then, we'll just see you out on Twitter. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.